Hi everyone, this is Niharika from Your Legal Career Coach. We are a mentorship platform for law students, and on our YouTube channel, you will find interviews with students and industry professionals to make your journey easier. Today, we have with us Sejal Jakhmola. Sejal pursued her Masters of Arts degree from Lady Shriram College for Women in 2024 and is currently working as a legislative aide at the office of Shri Pradeep Singh. She started off her journey at the Parliament as a legislative research intern, and Sejal is very vocal on LinkedIn and inspires a large student base. And it's an absolute pleasure to have her here. Welcome, Sejal. It's a great pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you, Niharika. Thank you so much for this warm welcome. And I'm really excited to have this session discussion with you. And I hope this whole session is beneficial for every student, anyone who's watching this.
Right. So to begin off, what motivated you to pursue a career in public policy and research work?
So my journey as a legislative research intern had started when I got an opportunity to dive into the mechanisms of policy development. This was majorly through LinkedIn itself. As you have already mentioned, I pursued my master's in history from Lady Shriram. And initially, the idea was to get into civil services, go for UPSC, SSC, etc., as is the convention for arts students. But as and when I started exploring LinkedIn as a platform, I realized that there are different avenues and ways in which we can contribute to the society. And the initial idea behind my selection of public policy as a career was basically to make a tangible impact on society through the law and governance. So governance was one area wherein I moved forward with. And yeah, so basically to do public good, that was my initial idea. And here I am. I hope I can do more in future.
Right. So how did you initially secure an internship in the legislative research, and how can students break into this field? Can you talk more about how to use LinkedIn, like you said?
So there's a common misconception that I've been on the platform for a really long time. That's really a false idea about it. I had joined the platform back in July 2024. So before that, I really did not have any idea how to navigate the platform or the opportunities that it presented. But it was really clear in my mind that I have to get into the policy sphere. So I started with interning with various think tanks. So if any student, especially law students who wish to pursue a career in the public policy, my first advice would be to shortlist a few think tanks which they feel would and are in alignment with what they want to pursue in the future. So let's say you want to intern in public policy, and it is majorly so public policy too has different arenas like health policy, education policy, etc. So initially you can dive into something which is more gives you a more dynamic outlook, and then after that you can move to more specialized arenas. I started my first internship with the Sarkari school. It is majorly concerned with the policies for government schools. So I engaged in writing research articles, research papers, and it majorly helped me with my research and writing skills on a primary level. So my foundation was set after this particular internship. After that, I moved to Niti Tantra, which is a student-led think tank. So again, people watching this, you can definitely go and explore opportunities which are presented on these think tanks. There are various other think tanks like these available, and they do offer internship opportunities in these areas. So you will start writing these research articles, research papers, and once your hand is set in writing these um, policy briefs, issue briefs, etc., you can then apply to these parliament internships, which are majorly posted on LinkedIn itself. So now, if we move on to how we can navigate parliament internships in particular, there are two ways in which you can do it. So number one is you go directly by way of cold mailing. And second is through LinkedIn, which is the easier method, I would say. So with cold mailing, what you're supposed to do is it is very similar to how you approach any other internship, be it in some corporate firm or a startup, etc. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on the Digital Sansad website. It has the details of every MP from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha on it. You'll find their mail IDs, their phone numbers, and you're going to draft a cold mail according to that. And then you're going to obviously send it to them. And since these offices are very, very fast paced, you can mail them today and it will be lost in their inbox forever. It can happen. So you have to keep sending it to them and keep on following it up with that. And ultimately, you will receive a response. But in case it doesn't work out for you, LinkedIn is always a good area to explore these. You start connecting with a lot of people who are associated with members of parliament or are already working there. They do need interns during the sessions of the parliament, and they'll post these opportunities on their accounts. So you directly apply through that, and the process is very, very simple. You just have to upload your CV. In some cases, they might ask you to write a policy brief also. But once your CV is shortlisted, you will be called in for an interview. And interview is also very, very simple. It's not a UPSC level interview, I would say. They'll just ask you a few questions about your work experience, your CV. And apart from that, you also need to be a bit versed with basic polity. You should be knowing like the foundational level polity, the different political procedures, parliamentary procedures, etc. And yeah, I think that is all. It is not a very elaborate process, I would say, but you just need to be a bit patient and persevere a bit, because it takes a little bit of time. There are a lot of applicants, because parliament internship is absolutely, absolutely rewarding and motivating. A lot of people are going after it. So you may feel right now that your application is being rejected and rejected every time, but you will get through ultimately. The key to this is just to have patience and faith in yourself and just keep pursuing. So yeah, that will sum up this part of the uh, application process. But a lot of times I do get questions on what to write in the cold mail. So with the cold mail, I would say it is just like any other cold mail that you would be writing for any other XYZ internship. So the first paragraph needs to be your introduction, very, very brief. The second paragraph should highlight your work experiences in this field. If you have already pursued any internship in public policy, you can definitely highlight that. You need to highlight your skills in research, analysis, writing, etc. Apart from that, what may set your cold mail apart from other applicants is how much you have personalized it. And by that, I mean, let's say you're applying to some XYZ MP's office. So do a little bit of background check on him, do a little bit of homework, that what initiatives that MP must have taken in his or her constituency, and what sort of social issue or cause they are advocating for, what are they most vocal about. And you can definitely include it in your cold mail, that you're inspired by their work and how you are in your individual capacity you can contribute to it. So just tailor your cold mail according to that. You cannot have one template and copy paste it to everyone, because that is not going to set you apart. Everybody is going to do the same thing only. So these are a little tips and tricks that can leverage your chances. But apart from that, you also need to mention in what way you are going to contribute to the office, as well as how this internship is going to benefit you and your career later on in your life. So yeah, that is how you are going to go about your cold mail. And again, as I mentioned, keep sending it to a lot of MPs, because you cannot stick to like 2 3 MPs and then say ki reject ho gaya. You need to send it to like 10 15 20 MPs if the need be. And the pro tip here would be to follow up. So do not shy away from following up, that will appear annoying, or they'll, as long as they're not replying by saying that, stop it, we are not going to take you. Till then, keep on
Right.
sending them the mail and keep on following up.
Right. Thank you for the very elaborate route. Moving on, can you tell us about your primary responsibilities and maybe walk us through your a typical day in your life as a legislative aide at the parliament?
Yeah, so majority of our work is during the sessions only. When the parliament is in session, that is the um, I would say the main time when we are the most busy, because you will not have one particular job to yourself. It is a very dynamic role. One time you sort of drafting a legislation for the MP. The other time you would be communicating or liaising between government entities and the MP office. So majorly during the session, let's say currently, last time for the winter session. So what the typical day would be that we would go through the newspaper every day, pick out any social issue or cause that is going on in the society, and then we would draft questions that can be asked in the parliament. Apart from that, I would say we assist the MP with drafting their speeches. I have majorly worked with MPs which are from the opposition. So um, for the private members bill, for Fridays are reserved for that. So we would draft bills, we would draft reports for the MP, brief them about different policy issues, bills, social issues, etc., etc. Apart from that, there are times when we are also asked to do a lot of communication work. So that is basically meeting with the constituents to discuss concerns, help them navigate government services, etc. And apart from that, there's liaising between the MP office and the government entities, stakeholders, or the public. So all in all, it is majorly to conduct research, briefing the MP, responding to their emails, and preparing these materials for legislative sessions.
Right. What essential skills and knowledge areas would you recommend public policy aspirants to focus on?
So first and foremost would be your communication skills. You need to possess communication skills which are clear and persuasive, because as I mentioned, you will not only be communicating through your writing, but also in a vocal format with different stakeholders, etc. So your point should come across clearly. Apart from that, again, strong research and analytical skills. It requires a lot of policy work, requires a lot of synthesizing of complex legal, social, economic information into actionable insights. So a very strong research and analytical skill at that is very important. Apart from that, again, if you want to apply for a government internship or a parliament internship, at that you need to be well versed with the parliamentary procedures, and basically the a solid understanding of how the government functions. Because if your foundation is not clear, you will have a hard time adapting to what's happening in that field. So I believe a strong foundational knowledge is essential. Apart from that, policy makers are often majorly involved with problem solving, finding solutions to complex issues. So critical thinking again is very important, and adaptability again, yes, flexibility and adaptability is 100% required. It's a non-negotiable. You can be asked to work at any time of the day. It's not like 10 to 5 is the norm. If the MP wants something the next day itself, doesn't matter if it's like 10 or 11 in the night, you have to get it done. So yes, flexibility and adaptability is very, very important in this.
How important is understanding of law and public policy? What would you say?
Again, a deep understanding of law is extremely beneficial in policy making, because legislation at its core is a reflection of legal principles. So, understanding legal terminology, precedents, facts, and how laws are interpreted helps shape better and more effective policies, which not only get through the implementation stage but are effective in the long run as well. So I feel law students in that sense a bit of an advantage in applying to these parliament internships and later on working in the public policies.
Right. Can you also tell us about the tenure of these internships? So is there a fixed tenure?
Yeah. See, initially, what happens is that the tenure of the internship might be for one particular session. So, let's say you have the monsoon session or the winter session, and it goes on for like 1.5, 2 months. So, you will be employed for that period itself. It can go to 3 months as well. They might ask you to join in a month before the session, so that a lot of drafting of these start questions can done by the time the parliament goes into the session. So minimum, I would say it's 2 to 3 months, but depending upon your competency and the way you have performed, they might give you an extension, and you can always ask for an extension if you feel like it.
Right. Any specific fellowships or research opportunities that you would recommend for someone wanting to build a career in legislative or policy work?
I would say first and foremost, go for internship in think tanks, because they will definitely give you primary or a foundational knowledge of how policy research works and how you can build your research and writing skills. Apart from that, again, LinkedIn is another area wherein you can explore a lot of parliamentary internships, network with a lot of people who are already working in this field. For law students, I feel you should definitely connect with your placement cells, because they do get in touch with all of these stakeholders and may provide you with these internships. Apart from that, I think Lok Sabha, in particular, the Lok Sabha Secretariat, has an internship program by the name of Pride, if I'm not wrong. You can definitely check it out on the Lok Sabha website, the Secretariat website. Um, Apart from that, I feel there are a lot of fellowships available. There's the Nehru Fellowship, if I'm not wrong. And again, a lot of these information is clouded on LinkedIn itself. So LinkedIn's your best friend for this.
Right.
Definitely search for these, connect with a lot of people who are working there. Do not shy away from these opportunities. Do not feel that why should I message them? I might not get a reply. You may or may not get a reply, but you have to take your chances. If you want to reach a certain level in your career, you have to take a lot of chances, and just do not shy away from sending a message or even following up on that. Even if you have to text someone 2 to 3 times, if it's working out in your favor, ultimately just go for it, I would say.
Right. Right. So
So
throughout
yeah.
the sessions, you've been giving just wonderful advices. One last advice, if you want to give to law students, particularly who are interested in a career in public policy, how can they prepare for such roles while in law school?
First and foremost, be do not think that I have to build a career in public policy, so I might keep law in the background. No, keep good grades, I would say. Maintain a decent CGPA percentage, whatever. Be thorough with whatever your academics are as a law student. Um, Build your experience, gain mentorship, develop a strong foundation in legal and political theory if you can, because that will set your path towards a career in public policy and legislative work. As a law student, also, you can people who are in the 5 year law program. So you have either, I think, BA LLB or BB LLB, sort of this pattern goes on. But again, for that, apart from your law academics, go for course in political science, or in research and writing, these different certificate courses which are available online. So just be thorough with all of these foundational knowledge. And of course, law will definitely going to provide you a leverage if you are thinking of entering into the policy sphere.
Right. With this, I believe we have covered all we needed to know about public policy opportunities for students and mostly on how to get an internship at the parliament. So thank you so very much for being here and sharing your experience. Very positive. This video will be of utmost help to everybody watching it. So thank you so very
Thank you
much.
so much for having me here, and I really hope that more and more people can benefit from this.
They sure will. Once again, on behalf of YLCC, I wish you the very best for your journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.